Welcome to Loma, Montana, guys. This is a bit of a different map than we're used to, and it's based straight out of Montana, which you guys know there's a famous YouTuber out of Montana, Welker Farms. So it's gonna be kind of like their style of map, where it's large, open fields, and then this has some history behind it. Right now, we're looking over what we call Decision Point, and this is where Lewis and Clark followed up the Missouri River, and they got to a point where there was two rivers. One was the Missouri, one was the Moross, hopefully I didn't butcher that name, Moross River. And they were trying to follow the Missouri and they couldn't tell which was which, and so they spent a couple days at this point trying to figure out which one was the Missouri. Eventually they found the correct one. But this map was created by the guy who created No Creek Farms for FS17, which you guys remember, probably I was playing FS17 and FS19 No Creek Farms. And so I would say this map creator is kind of a nerd in a good way, like nerdy on historical details, which same thing with farming. I love looking at history and all the nerdy details behind like farming history back in the 18s and 1900s. So you'll see a couple things along this map. It's got like a lot of detail across it. It's different, it's new. We're gonna give you a map review on it. And you guys can check out No Creek Farms Facebook page down below and the Patreon page, which the Patreon page, this map is available in a beta version if you want to become a tester and test it out over on Patreon. Okay guys, we're gonna tour Loma, Montana. Now I do have to say, I'm not the best at map tours. Like, I'm not a crazy good map reviewer or anything like that. So first things first, let's get that out of the way. Second thing, this is awesome. Thanks, shout out to No Creek Farms for sending us this and allowing us to check this thing out. A lot of this map is like wheat, peas, barley, lentils, stuff like that. Different crops than we're used to in the Midwest. And so here's one of the main farms, which it looks like we have a bunch of grain storage here. And kind of picture this if you watch Welker Farms, like kind of Welker Farms area, obviously it's in Montana. And then we have, it looks to be like silage bunkers, silage storage over here if I can hop out of it. And then across here have some hoop buildings, and then Nate is over with the cattle. And I want to kind of buy some cattle and show you guys this map across here. People who live in Montana out west are gonna love this map. I know for sure they're gonna like it and stuff, because there's definitely not that many maps out west. And then we have cattle here. Since this map is out west, there's a lot of like cattle abilities, and there's a couple different cattle facilities. Here's one of them. And so it's got 1, 2, 3, probably like 10 different lots. Way more than that.
If I had to take a guess, there's probably about 10 to 15 lots per section, because you gotta realize there's 3 sections.
Oh, okay.
Going down.
Okay, yeah. So then you got a big feed lot here, and then we'll climb through here. I got my calves on one side, my heifers on the other, and then here's the bunker area where you can feed them across here. And then you got another bunker section over here with your feed lot, and then you have one more section over here. So 3 different sections, like Nate said. So if you want to run a big like cattle operation, this is definitely the map across here. So that is farm number 1, big cattle. It's right along the river. I think this is the Missouri River over here, and it's got a lot of fields. This is, I mean, big equipment territory. You can only run big equipment across here unless you want to spend your whole life planting one field. Okay, now here's what we'll call farm number 2 across here. We just got done purchasing the entire map, so you can see up in the right hand corner, we just purchased everything. So this farm has a mailbox that Grant must have smoked right before we started recording, I'm guessing, or maybe that was down like that. I bet you I hit it. And then it's got a farmhouse across here. Now these are the type of farms I like personally really love, is kind of your more Midwest type farm with big buildings, big bins, like especially when we're on such a big map with a lot of land. So I like livestock, but I'm not into it as much as row crop. So you got your farmhouse here, of course, American flag out front, and then I'll take you guys over to the like machine sheds and stuff, which is, this is what I'm excited for. And also this truck is like perfect for this map. Montana out west, an old Ford highboy, perfect. So here's the main shop. We're gonna head in here. Main shop inside here, you got all your tools. Yep, you got vehicle options, so you can customize your vehicle, repair it in here, it looks like. And I'm guessing, I think this is 81 by 120, something like that. Across here, it's got bifold doors, it looks like, or hydraulic doors. Yeah, bifold. It's got a roll-up door over here, and then this is like a standard hydraulic door. Just a giant standard hydraulic door over here that opens up. Oh yeah, this will be good for equipment, although it does feel like the shed's not that tall. But maybe I'm wrong. It feels like fitting in a big combine may hit the edge of the door. We'll see though. Or maybe Nate's just really tall tall and I'm just thrown off.
I feel like I know this shed somewhere. I feel like there should be like a big sign up there for a towing company. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, we've definitely used this shed on a couple other maps. And then here you got big cold storage with 2 bifold doors on both ends. Like this is, I'm guessing, yep. So it's 90 by 200 dry cold storage shed across here, which this will work good when you run big equipment. And then you have your fuel tank, you have a cold storage shed, and then like a little dry storage, completely closed shed over here, which works good. And then you got your giant bin set up over here, which I think those Meridians have fertilizer, I'm guessing, across them. And then the rest are grain bins. And then you got like anhydrous. So I'm assuming you have like a full dryer system, not anhydrous, sorry. You have LP over here. So I'm assuming we have like a full drying system across here. Don't quote me on it though. Actually, these aren't probably fertilizer. These are probably specialty crops for specialty bins, I'm guessing. These are probably for like fertilizer is what I'd have to guess. So Nate did confirm you can dry stuff in those bins, which is pretty awesome. So this is an overview of farm number 2. I'm liking this. I mean, this would be a pretty cool farm on top of like the bluffs out here. Heck yeah. Okay, now farm number 3 is kind of like a cattle farm, I'll call it, where you have this driveway that runs up across this road, and then you have your house over here, and then you have your main farm that leads, the road leads to a Y, and the main farm runs this way. So I'll kind of tour the house across here. This is pretty darn cool. And this is just the standard like mod house that we always use. I don't know, I think it's probably like, you know, in the middle of Iowa, it'd probably be like a $700,000 house. Super nice. You got a nice look off the bluff across here down to the road. And then if you fly over to the cattle farm, this is actually like pasture, where I think you have like kind of pasture out here. Yep, large cow pasture. And there's Nate. And so you can kind of have your own like cow pasture out here. And Nate just bought a couple calves, got a calf roaming out there. You can feed them right here, and you're basically a cattle farmer across here. And it looks like Nate was saying it can hold about 200 cattle across there. And then over here, this is mainly focused on livestock, I'm assuming. So this looks to be your hay shed across here. You got your bins for commodities across here, and then fertilizer, I'm guessing fertilizer. You have, I'll call it your cold storage shop, probably in here with fuel. And then you have your main workshop area over here. I'm assuming it gets super cold in the wintertime, so to have like a heated shop is probably super important around this part. So that's farm number 3 across here. We'll move on to farm number 4. Okay, so another thing about this is like it has custom soil, like realistic soil across the map. So Nate's actually purchasing all the soil information. Here we're on top of a bluff with like field 12 and 11, and the bluffs actually yield less than on average most of the ground down in valleys. Now I'm assuming this stuff along the river 13, 15 is in valleys. It'll yield more, and then like around the edges, field edges, your yield isn't as good as the middle of the field, which is pretty darn realistic. And then any wet spot doesn't yield as good across here too, which is kind of cool. It's cool looking at all these soil maps and stuff. So pretty neat. Okay, so here's what I'm going to call farm number 4. And this looks pretty similar to Welker Farms, like the setup, if I remember correctly. They got their house, although their house might have been like a little smaller across here. And obviously they're building a couple more houses. And then it's got their style of shed, their style of shop right here. Although that shed and that shed doesn't look that familiar to theirs, but it definitely feels like Welker Farm style setup across here. And it's definitely their exact shop. Oh yeah, you got their shop in here, you got the door, then you got your other door across here. Oh yeah, this is definitely the, yep, Welker Farms logo. Awesome. Then you got bin setups, and then you got some cold storage buildings across here. Cold storage, more cold storage. This almost looks like a commodity shed where you could dump grain out of the top and store grain in here is what it feels like. Although I don't see any ports at the top to dump grain into. And then you got 6 different bins across here. Now the town has like a cattle pasture, kind of like basically alongside of it, right on the outer edge, that you can also purchase, run a cattle operation out of there. And then it has grain that you can sell on the railroad. Now I think the railroad's actually gone in real life, but you can see old tracks, and so we put a railroad here, which is pretty cool. So in the map, you actually have a railroad where you can sell or probably transport your grain across here. And then you have the town across here too, which is just a simple small town. I think it's like a town of 70 or 80 people or something like that across here, which is pretty neat. And I think that's pretty much it. I probably missed stuff. I know I missed stuff. There's definitely little details that I missed across this map. Overall opinion of it, it's a really good map for the area. You can tell the creator has a lot of detail and is nerding out on some of the details, which is really good. That's what you want in a map creator. But the one thing that gets me is I'm from the Midwest and I want to focus on Midwest farming, and that's what gets me excited. And so maps like No Creek Farms that like are made out of Missouri, that's the stuff that like I really like. So this is a little tough for me to get used to having a Montana map, but for a Montana map, it seems like it's really, really well done across here. So like I said, I'm a little more focused on Midwest farming compared to out west. Like Midwest is my core thing. That's what I love. That's what gets me excited. This map is still a solid map, especially if you're from out west. You'll definitely like it, guys. Check it out. Thanks to No Creek Farms for letting us check it out. Down below is a Facebook link and a Patreon link. If you want to be a beta, you can check out this map too. And yeah, I definitely want to support all map creators who are working hard, kicking butt, trying to get maps built for Farming Simulator. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks, guys.